Republic continues to get you top voices from across the country. Today on this edition of Lockdown Questions, we have two eminent ENT specialists. Joining me on the broadcast are Dr. E.V. Raman. He's the ENT and Director of Children Airways Centre, Manipal Hospital in Bengaluru. And also on the broadcast is Dr. Rakesh Singh. He's the HOD ENT Department in Indira Gandhi Institute of Medical Sciences from Patna. Now, if you have any ENT-related questions, you can call on the numbers that are flashing on your screens. The number is 022-624-31010, and the doctors on the broadcast will be happy to answer your questions. But Dr. Singh and Dr. Raman as well, welcome. Thank you for talking to us. Dr. Singh, I want to first come to you because this is a very commonly asked question, and for the benefit of our viewers, I want to touch upon that point once again. When everyone is going on to say that how does one differentiate between normal flu and the symptoms of flu vis-a-vis that of COVID-19?
Yeah, it's a very genuine and good question. As you know, the coronavirus, it usually causes rhinitis, anosmia, after then sore throat, shortness of breath, body ache. This is a very typical disease consequences and sequence of the other flu, like general flu. It usually causes rhinitis, cough, body ache, fever, and sneezing. So it's a very clear-cut history if you are getting a corona case. The rhinitis, anosmia, sore throat, and breathing difficulty, high fever. If you are getting these symptoms, you must think nowadays a corona case and go for the test.
All right, Dr. Raman, got that. Dr. Raman, I want to come to you, especially when it comes to cases of children. Yes, go ahead, please.
Right. So, the silver lining in the whole thing is children don't seem to be affected as much as adults, and when they get affected, the severity seems to be much less. Although we have record of very young children, even a newborn testing positive for COVID. But the outcome, the prognosis, what happens later is much better in children than in adults, as you know. And since the travel history, etc., is much more in the elder age groups, and also the people who are immunocompromised, we are seeing lesser number of children having these problems.
All right, but are you getting cases at this point where a child is suffering from cough, cold or fever? What is your advice to those parents? And in such cases, are children given the advice to go in for a COVID-19 test? What are the kind of cases you're receiving?
This is what I was coming to. You see, what happens in India, where we don't have definite referral patterns, most of the patients having cold, cough, fever land up with the ENT surgeon, ENT specialists, both adults and children. And children do have many more upper respiratory infections as a general rule. And so they land up, and the parents do get very apprehensive. And fortunately for us, these days we also have specialized fever clinics in these hospitals. So anything that is suspicious of COVID, we request them to go there, because the testing facilities are to be targeted, because we don't have enough resources to test everybody. So clinical examination is done basically, and the children are screened in these fever clinics. And of course, those suspected cases, we do take the swabs and send it across, which again is not so easily available. It takes a while for the reports to come. So the other aspect is there are some children who come with emergencies. So we get children with foreign bodies in the airway tract, which are genuine emergencies, and you have to take care of these children. And when we take them to the theatre to remove the foreign bodies, both the anesthetic team, the other caregivers in the theatre, all of us, because we are most exposed to aerosolized material which comes up from the respiratory tract. And as you know, the viruses are mostly concentrated in the nose, the nasopharynx, that's a part behind the nose, and at the back of the throat. So the potential to infect others is much more. The team also has to take care. So with limited testing facilities, we have to have the suspicion, and as per the ICMR, the government guidelines, some of them will have to go for testing, but the pediatric burden as of now is not much. But as I said, children do get upper respiratory infections more, so we'll have to be on the guard and take care of them.
Oh yes, very important word coming in there, that the parents have to be on the guard even when it comes to the kind of symptoms that the children are showing. We'll talk more on that, but our viewers who are beginning to call, our first caller is Vinod. He's calling from Noida. Vinod, what's your question?
Actually, my question is not related to, COVID-19, but actually this is related to my throat problem. See, actually, it is very long back. Actually, I have taken a medicine. I mean, मैं fever और कुछ मुझे कोल्ड फील हो रहा था, तो मैंने मेडिसिन ले लिया था. तब से मुझे आज तक गले में ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ चीजें फंस रही, मतलब ऐसा एवरी टाइम, मोस्ट ऑफ टाइम, मतलब ऐसा होता नहीं, खराश टाइप का, तो ऐसा फील होता है मुझे गले में. So what medicine should I take? Yeah, what test I need to do?
All right, we get your question, and doctor, either of you can take that question to also touch upon the point of whether it is advisable to take self-prescribed medicines.
No, not at all.
This particular symptoms which you have asked for is not very... Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Raman, you make your point, after which Dr. Singh will come to you.
Hello.
Okay. So this feeling of some kind of irritation in the throat, constant throat clearing, and then foreign body sensation in the throat is not uncommon in patients in general. This could be multiple reasons. It could be just some allergy, it could be due to some acid reflux, or it could even be due to some kind of an infection. So whatever the reason is, we need to get more history, examine the patient and treat that person. But to consider all kinds of throat irritation as something leading to COVID, no, definitely not. We need to look for the other symptoms. And these things generally, off the cuff, I can tell you that good hydration, constant sips of water, preventing dryness of the throat, avoiding anything which is acidic, sour, spicy, ice cold, giving a good 3-hour gap between eating food and lying down, and get your allergies treated, or sometimes you can get what is called as a postnasal drip, which comes from the sinus and drops down the back of the throat and causes irritation. So a course of anti-allergic medication could be used. Having said that, whether we should self-medicate or not is important. See, many of the common garden illnesses do become all right in a week, 10 days time. And at that initial stage, in case you take some over-the-counter medicines, nothing wrong with it. But if you don't improve in the next 3 to 5 days, please go and meet, or if you get worse, please go and take a doctor's advice. And what we are doing, if I may add one more point, is now we don't want you to come and crowd the ENT OPDs because we have enough work here. So what our hospital, for example, has done is we've introduced the concept of teleconsultation. So we are taking care of people like you with teleconsultations, so that we are still accessible to the large group of people who are very worried about their illness, wondering whether it's COVID or not COVID, including for their children, etc.
All right, Dr. Singh, if you quickly want to add to that, otherwise we can go on to our next caller.
Yeah. One thing I want to make it very clear, as Dr. Raman has already said, the symptom COVID is very, very clear. Due to the panicity, many people due to the allergic problem and some other problems in the throat, like itching in the throat or some discomfort in the throat, they're considering themselves as a COVID patient and they become panic. It is a very grave situation and it may create the further problem, psychological problem. In COVID, if rhinitis is there, anosmia is a very important factor now coming in a day. Anosmia, it is in foreign country, it is considered as a marker. If a patient is suffering from sudden anosmia, and fever, rhinitis, sore throat, and breathing difficulty, then they should voluntarily go for the COVID test.
All right. Taking our next question on the
Let us
show,
consult with
Snehashil
the-
Gaikwad is calling from Vadodara. Snehashil, what's your question?
Good morning, doctors. Good morning, everyone. My question is, Vadodara is having 38 degrees Celsius temperature right now. Whether it is okay to run the air conditioners at this moment, at this temperature?
All right. Dr. Singh, you would like to answer that?
Yeah. It is not a matter of temperature. Different researchers already say that this virus may survive in high temperature also. So temperature is not going to affect much more. You can use your air condition. Main thing is to prevent yourself from the exposure. One thing I want to say that the one droplet of cough, one droplet contains 2 million virus, and one sneeze, it contains near about 40,000 droplets. One cough, it contains near about 3,000 droplets. So you can understand the load of the virus if somebody is sneezing or somebody is coughing. So main thing is to prevent yourself from those invading factors. If temperature is not going to make any difference. So wearing a mask, make a social distance, keep in the home, don't go undouble in the crowd place. This all directive is given by the government, and there are very strong scientific basics behind it to control the virus. So don't fear about the temperature. Fear about this one's droplet infection, exposure.
Right.
And whatever government directive is given, please follow it.
Right. All right. I believe, Dr. Raman, the next question is coming from for you. Dinesh is calling from Bengaluru. Dinesh, what's your question? Dinesh, if you can just reduce the audio levels of the television screen.
Yeah, ma'am.
And then put your question.
Spherical name in the name, my name which is showing in television. Can you make it Dinesh Spherical? Yeah.
All right, we'll do that, Dinesh. But what's your question first? Our doctors are waiting.
Yeah.
Yes.
My question is about the vaccine.
Yes. What about the vaccine?
The vaccine is still a long way off. That would be the ideal panacea at some stage or the
Yes,
other.
Dr. Raman,
it's
go
a
ahead.
slightly distant dream at this particular moment. Right now, we need to reduce the disease burden and make sure that we don't have large numbers over a short period of time where the health systems are strained. But the ultimate level would be probably, apart from herd immunity, which has been talked about, that means a sufficient amount of the population gets infected, they develop an immunity. But then what we need is what is absolutely vaccine is the solution. And the problem about vaccine is it has to go through the procedures where it has to be tried in subjects, then finally we'll have to prove the efficacy and finally improve it. So between 12 to 18 months, every day we read in the lay press that the vaccine is around the corner. So I think it's going to take at least 12 to 18 months. If it comes earlier and if I'm proved wrong, I'll be very happy.
All right. Also, our next caller from Bengaluru itself, Parth. Parth, if you can take your question, please.
Yeah, hi. Can I ask Dr. Raman the question? Because I think I'm treated in hospital only. Dr. Raman, good morning. Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Raman, I'm suffering from a rare disease. Hello, I'm suffering from a rare disease, and for which my both heart and kidney are affected, and I have to take infusions every 15 days. And I do take that in Manipal Hospital also. Now my question is that being put on Ranipril, it creates a lot of throat, cough on throat. Now the problem is, with this COVID going on, and we have to go out for doing some shopping or other. Sometimes, you get a fear that, have I got COVID, or it is just because of Ranipril that's still going on now. And that is something, which is a little scary, because we have got a little bit of susceptibility regarding the immune system now. So what do you say, sir?
Yes. See, anybody who's on with comorbid conditions like you is more susceptible to the COVID infection. And if everybody is taking the right precaution, and if you take double the amount of precaution, it would be worthwhile. Meanwhile, what was the medicine that you said you're on? I couldn't get it.
I'm on Ramipril. That is one for my throat. Then there's one febuxostat that is for my uric acid and for cholesterol.
Okay. So you just need to be doubly careful, or everybody should be careful, and you should be careful as anybody else, because of your constant visits to hospitals and treatment. Your immune system is not as efficacious as others, and that's the main thing for you.
All right, Parth, I hope that answers your question. Also, our next caller on the line, Mayuresh Jaisinghani, calling from Mumbai. Mayuresh, what's your question?
Doctor, good morning to you. Doctor, my question is, we are going to have very soon rains in Mumbai in June. If after the lockout, how do we know that the person who's coming with cold and cough is suffering from common cold and cough, or he's suffering from the virus, coronavirus?
All right, this is a question we had touched upon also on the start of the show, but Dr. Singh, if you'd like to answer that.
Yeah, as you know, this outbreak of the COVID in Mumbai is very high. In endemic situation, in such situation, if you are getting such type of symptom, which is related to the COVID, you should be careful, and you must go for the screening. In such condition, always consider yourself as a COVID patient if you are getting some symptoms of COVID, and must go for the screening. It is better for you and better for society and your family too.
All right, we have a lot of calls coming in, and we are moving slightly faster on this. Anil Sharma is also calling from New Delhi. Anil, what's your question?
Doctor, good morning. Actually, from last 1 week or 10 days, I developed pain in my right ear, and I have no symptoms of throat infection or cough and cold. Nothing is there, and the pain is so much that when I eat something, I feel very difficult. And because of lockdown, I cannot move outside, and no OPDs are working, general OPD or ENT OPD. So can you suggest some medicine so that I can get some relief?
Dr. Raman, you'd like to take that?
Yeah, from what I understand, your pain is there when you are swallowing. Is that right?
Hello?
Pain in the ear is there when you swallow?
No.
You have pain?
I have pain in general. Hello?
Okay, otherwise also. Okay. So there are multiple reasons for ear pain. One could start off from hard wax onwards to infection in the external canal skin to middle ear infection, etc. But since you don't have a cold, maybe it's not a middle ear infection. But if you are having any pain on touching the external ear, then you need to definitely take some kind of a pain reliever. If it doesn't improve, I'm afraid somebody has to see you, or you can seek a teleconsultation, and they can probably help you out, because it's difficult to prescribe medicines on that. If you don't have a cold, maybe just a painkiller, and if you think you have blocked ears due to wax, you can use some wax dissolvent drops for now.
All right, I hope that solves Anil's question. Also, our next caller, Rishabh, who's calling from Chandigarh. Rishabh, what's your question?
Yeah, good morning. Sir, my left ear feels heavy and blocked. I took a hot shower 2 days back, and since then I'm having the problem. And I don't have any fever, sore throat, cough or cold, anything like that. And as it is a routine case, most hospitals are not dealing with it. So what can I do? It's really disturbing.
Dr. Singh, you'd like to answer that?
Yeah. So his problem is only heaviness in the ear, I think so. So that heaviness, particularly in this condition, may be due to the TMJ arthritis or TMJ dysfunction. Okay. If just press the TMJ, means the joint, if getting pain, don't open the mouth too much, take the soft diet, and take one chimeral for tablet morning and evening, the heaviness will go.
All right, we've tried to take as many questions as possible within the given time. I hope that has answered the questions of all the callers who called in during this show. Dr. Raman and Dr. Singh, many thanks for joining us on this broadcast and taking those questions. For the moment, it's time for us to slip into a very short commercial break, but we'll continue to bring you more such segments with experts to answer all your questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.